taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
And we are back. Ferrall, coast to coast. Hour number 3 here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty. Go for the 2, Joe Lisi. Of course, today's like a extended version of the popular SportsGrid Radio show Carver and Lisi, which airs weeknights at 8 p.m. East on SportsGrid Radio. So, Joe, which will see me and Joe tonight, screaming and yelling about such things as guys not hitting homers, overs not going over. We've been the latest thing, of course, is our battles back and forth about college football win totals, which is hot and heavy right now because we have a lot of those to get through over the next week and a half before the season kicks off for real, which college football does actually on Saturday. Me and Joe will talk about that in a little bit. But, Joe, I'm not done with the NFL for you. I have a few other things. I wanted to try to get as many guys that I know are going to fire you up today. That was part of my thing. Let's find all the guys that usually push Joe's buttons here. And when you talk about a team that's getting a lot of gas coming into this season, team that's getting a lot of hype, a lot of pub, the Chicago Bears are right up there, baby. Caleb Williams, Eberflus, Dunze. Everybody is going to be a hero in Chicago this year for the Bears, Joe. But Caleb Williams will not play in their final preseason game because Matt Eberflus says he has seen enough, Joe. He has seen what he needs to see before we get to the real thing in the regular season.
Just the process of being able to get into the huddle, make the call, be clean. Good. Get to the line, look at the shot clock and say, okay, this is a little bit low, and move guys around fast enough to get the snap off, have awareness, and then really do a good job of at the line of scrimmage to be able to adjust to what the defense gives you, and make your adjustments from there. And I think it's been clean. And then post snap, I think he's been relatively good in terms of going through his progressions, making good decisions, taking care of the football in the pocket with 2 hands and moving around there. When he has done have to do that. But overall, I thought a good preseason for him.
This has absolute train wreck written all over it. Matt Eberflus, let's get this straight. Matt Eberflus saw enough. He saw so much in camp that he decided Caleb doesn't need the experience. That's number one. Number two, gutless Matt Eberflus didn't even know his ass from his elbow because he had to go to Nick Saban to see how to coach Caleb Williams, in terms of developmental, quarterback skills. That's a fact. I sent you that clip. So right from the get-go, he didn't even know how to coach up the quarterback that they took number 1 overall. This is going to be a mess because Caleb Williams is not the most polished quarterback in this draft class. That is Jaden Daniels that's starting for Washington. He's going to make mistakes. He will get nervous. He got nervous in terms of the loss last year in South Bend where he threw 3 interceptions and he saw ghosts and he heard the footsteps of the Fighting Irish and Marcus Freeman's defense. This team is going to go under 8.5 wins, and I'll go as low as 6.5 because I think they're going to be dead and buried in regards to the North.
Wow, there it is, Joe. 8.5, went 7-10 last year. Open it up, of course, with the Titans. Finish with Green Bay. There's their schedule. I don't think I'm as low as you on the scale. I don't think they're going to win 9 games. I think that's a lot to ask for out of any rookie quarterback. Any rookie quarterback. I think winning 9+ games is a lot to ask for, especially for a team, Joe, that has been awful the last few years. Let's be fair here. I mean, they have been awful. They actually had the worst record 2 years in a row, right, Joe? I mean, it took 2 years in a row they've had the worst record. So, and Eberflus leaves a lot to be desired. I'm surprised that they brought him back to start the Caleb Williams era here. I think, Joe, they should have started fresh with someone else, with Williams, together as a tandem, and they did not do that. So there's an easy guy to blame, Joe, if it doesn't start well for Williams. It's the guy who's been in there. That's the first guy. They have an easy fall guy if it goes bad this year.
But let me ask you this, Carver. The window is what now in terms of quarterbacks? 2 years? I mean, Sam Darnold,
wow.
you knew right away. Well, Carver, wait a second. Trevor Lawrence was a train wreck against Urban, and Doug Peterson turned them around. But wait, we're making the assessment on Will Levis. We made nobody's the 4-year window anymore. Nobody's given the benefit of the doubt like Daniel Jones in New York. They make that assessment sooner rather than later. You either know or you don't know. So, this is the same assessment that we made with Justin Fields. And Caleb Williams, assuming that they go under the 8.5 and assuming that Matt Eberflus is gone, is going to be in the same situation. And then he might just be a journeyman at that point. I mean, if we're talking about that with Bryce Young and gutless Frank Reich that didn't want to coach him up, what's the difference between Bryce Young and Caleb if he struggles?
Look, you're right, guys. If you're starting right away, you really have 2 years, or else they basically start saying you can't play in the league, right, Joe? I mean, that's it. I mean, a lot of guys that you don't have a lot of rope anymore in this league, especially in big markets. It's even harder to have a lot of rope. So he's got to be good out of the gate, but he's confident, Joe. I sent you that clip today. I don't get nervous. He don't get nervous. So we'll see what happens once he gets going that first game against Tennessee and there beyond. Next for you, Kyle Shanahan and the Niners. As they get ready for the season, they, of course, are still dealing with a lot of things off the field, whether it's Ayuk, Trent Williams, etc. But one thing that has been a constant this offseason, as opposed to last, Joe, is Brock Purdy is healthy, and he's been involved in all of the offseason program. He spent a lot of time with his teammates. Leadership through the roof now for Brock.
I just think when you've done what you've done on the field, it's always easier. I mean, I don't care how you are, no matter what type of leader or how you want to command or demand things from people. If you haven't had much success on the field, that doesn't last very long. And he did that as a rookie, but then he was so caught off just trying to come back from his injury. Now, after having a second year in where he had an unbelievable year, he's in a much more natural position to do it. I think he does do it naturally. But the team, based off of what he's done, he's earned their respect on the field, and they know him as a guy inside and out, and no one respects him more as a person than how much they respect Brock.
A lot of respect, Joe, for Brock Purdy. A lot of respect.
A lot of pressure.
MVP. I mean, MVP this year. A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, not just on Brock, on the guy doing the talking. And it's one thing to run through the regular season and have one of the best records and, maybe get to a Super Bowl, but the bullseye's on his back as well. There's no different between Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco and Andy Reid in Philadelphia, in my opinion. Andy Reid had to go to KC and get Mahomes before he won his first Super Bowl. If they don't make the Super Bowl this year, what do? Do you make the same assessment about Shanahan?
Yeah, I don't think that he'd get chopped, Joe, if they didn't make the Super Bowl this year or win the Super Bowl. I don't think that. I think when guys win as much as he has, you usually don't look to chop them. I mean, I know we've seen stranger things in the past, but I just don't think that that's going to happen. They love him out there, Joe. Love him. He does no wrong. Gets no heat. There's been no heat on him, and he should have taken some for some of these big losses that they've had. But they're going nowhere. I think they need to figure out what's going to go on with Ayuk, Joe, before anything else, because that changes things for them offensively, whether he's going to be out there or not once that season gets cooking. All right, Ferrall Coast to Coast will come back. We got to finish off Golf Wednesdays. Keith Stewart out in Colorado getting ready for the BMW. The picks next. Coast to Coast on the Grid.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on,
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday, a golf Wednesday on C2C. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid at SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. Of course, every week we have Keith Stewart with us from Read the Line as we get ready for this week's PGA Tour event. It is the second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs, and we head west, which I love. I'm going to tell Keith about this in a moment. I love that we're playing somewhere that we never go to, out to Colorado. And that is where Keith is this week as we get ready for the BMW. Keith, good to see you as always, my man. How is it out there in the Rocky Mountains for the golfers?
Mike, it is a heck of a lot better than it was down in the swamp of Memphis last week. 110 degrees, heat index every day. The air is dry, 6,000 feet of elevation. It is absolutely picturesque. When people see this golf course over the weekend, they are going to be absolutely stunned. The first impression, the drone footage, there's so much you could do with this landscape. I mean, it is going to be spectacular viewing, and the golf should be pretty good as well.
The golf should be pretty good as well. Before we get to the course and things like that, I want to quickly bring something up from last week. We were talking about it.
All right.
The changes that they made, a lot of people bellyached about 70 for the playoffs, 50 for the signature events, things like that. I thought it added a lot on Sunday, Keith, that you had Hideki going in with a 5-shot lead, which he was, he gave away and had to come back and get at the end. But there was so many other things on the line on Sunday, whether it was Nick Dunlap and Eric Cole and, Keegan leaves thinking probably he's got no shot to be in the thing, and he ends up at 50. And that 50 matters a lot, Keith. You could tell by the way a lot of those guys played on Sunday.
The 50, Carver, it almost matters more than the 30 that we're going to get to this week. When you get in the Tour Championship, you get in all 4 majors. Most of these guys are in them to begin with. To get in those signature events is such a career-changing moment for an Eric Cole or a Nick Dunlap or a guy like that. I mean, it really sets them up for success for years to come. So for the first time in a really long time, coverage was really complete, and it was super compelling. And there was so much going on with that 50, mark, that line in the sand. Eric Cole had that great round on Sunday that he hits it in the water on 18, and even the announcers were like, "What is he doing?" It was like it was so good. The theater was so entertaining. And then on a day where you thought that Hideki would never give up the lead, that got close at the end. And then you had the usual customers coming up there, the real aggressive guys, Xander, Victor, getting in the mix, getting ready for the BMW. We're down to the top 50, and they're going to do it all again on Sunday. We're going to have a winner. We're going to have the top of the leaderboard. We're also going to have that 30-guy cut line. And there's some names that are just outside and just inside that, are playing good and playing bad. It should be very exciting.
Tell me a little bit about Castle Pines as you're out there now in Castle Rock, Colorado. PGA Tour hasn't been here in over 20 years, just about 20 years. I think it's 2006 was the last time that they were here. 48 of the 50 golfers in this field have never played a competitive round at this place. I love this, Keith, because I like the element of something new for these guys. Over 8,000 yards in terms of distance. Tell me a little bit about the place.
Well, the setting itself is just spectacular. This Jack Nicklaus facility here, it is 8,100 yards on the scorecard, par 72. Your standard scorecard, you got the 4 3s, 4 5s, and you got the 10 par 4s. But what the key is that we are at 6,000 feet of elevation, maybe even a little bit higher. There's a 7.5% adjustment for carry. So if you're hitting the driver 300, then all of a sudden now you're hitting it 323. We've got Rory hitting it 390 out here. And you know what? That's part of the equation of what they're trying to figure out this week. It's almost like a major. We have the 50 best players of the year that are on property, and they're learning a new golf course all at the same time with altitude adjustments. And a lot of people are talking about, the difference in length. But you got to talk about the difference in spin, too. When the air is thinner, the ball doesn't spin as much. If you're a guy that likes to sling that draw like Rory, it's just not going to draw as much because there's not as much air resistance. So we love the guys that are in really good form right now. The Victors, the Xanders, the Hidekis, those guys, they are definitely the ones we're featuring throughout our cards if we can deal with the odds. And I tell you what, this is going to be a scoring fest. You mentioned the International back in the day from 1986 to 2006. The last 14 years of that, the average winning score is 20 under par. Vegas has the line right now at 23.5 under par for this week. These guys are better players, better equipment, better golf ball. I expect this score to go super, super deep. You got to have birdie makers. You got to have subpar scorers this week on your card because there's soft conditions. We're getting a little bit of weather every single day. Just keep softening it up for these 50 guys. You got to go deep, Carver.
So, of course, I always do the weather. You said a little bit of weather each day. Is that what it sounds like? I saw something afternoon storms every day. Is that kind of the stuff that we're going to be dealing with?
We're really not going to be dealing with that much other than the greens crew. Because what's going to happen is we're going to start every day on Mountain Time at 7:20 in the morning. The last tee time with 25 twosomes, it goes off around noon. If these guys play at about 4.5 hours, which is what they generally do in twosomes, by the time the afternoon Denver storms roll in, these guys should be in good shape. I don't expect there to be many weather delays at all. Basically what it's going to do is that every afternoon that it does storm, and these can be pocket-like too, because with the mountains and the valleys, some valleys get hit, some don't. So one day we might get one day we might not. But I don't see there being a lot of nuisance rain, Carver. You can stay calm, save it all for next week in Atlanta when all the pop-up storms happen. Of course, there's only 30 guys next week, but I think this week we're pretty much in the clear with the air and with the weather.
We certainly are. All right, we're going to do the outrights. I usually give you one highlight, but I'm running out of time. I've only got 45 seconds. And honestly, Keith, I don't think it's fair to shortchange any of these guys with just 45 seconds. So when we come back, you'll give me the outrights, you'll give me the placements, you'll give me the head-to-heads. The way I've looked at this, Keith, just like, this BMW, it moves around to different places, but one thing stays the same. The big dogs usually come out on top. Victor, Cantlay, Rahm, JT. So lots of big names usually when we get down to this last 50 with the FedEx Cup playoffs. We will come back with Keith, and we will get all of his action for this week. And I need to ask you about Nelly in Scotland because we've got the final major on the women's side, and I saw the newsletter this morning, and you're getting Nelly at a price we have not seen really all year. So that's very interesting, too. Ferrall Coast to Coast, a Golf Wednesday with Keith Stewart from Read the Line. We're back on the grid right after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take it the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty. A golf Wednesday on C2C Sports Grid at SportsGrid Radio. Keith Stewart is with us from Read the Line out in Colorado. BMW Championship. All right, Keith, lay it on me. The outrights for this week. Reading a lot of the same mail, baby. I love it.
Hey, Carver, at this point, 50 guys left in the season, we have to be reading the same mail. The last 5 years, the average pre-tournament odds of the winner is 22-1. It's the guys that are playing well. Let's start with Victor Hovland. I got him at 20. It's a great number. He's down there in the high teens. How about a guy? This is a Jack Nicklaus golf course. Victor's best finishes this year in a roller coaster season: 3rd at Valhalla, Nicklaus course; 15th at the Memorial, Nicklaus course, and a former winner there. You know what? T2 last week at St. Jude. The guy's playing well, and he feels really good. I tried to throw him off a little bit today in the press room. The guy's dialed in, and he feels really good about his golf game. The second guy, I loved him last week. I love him even more right now. He feels like every round he's playing, he keeps getting better and better. That's Patrick Cantlay, plus 2,200. Here's another guy who dominates Nicklaus golf courses. Left to right off the tee, great on approach. Putts, bet grass greens exquisitely well. Well, that's what we have this week. They're multi-tiered. We're going to need some good putters. High up on the stip meter speed-wise. Cantlay can handle all that. I mean, he's got top 5 talent in the world. From there, I'm going to go with the hometown boy, Wyndham Clark. I got him on Monday. If you're not reading the Golf Digest odds drop article I do every week, because after I write it and I tell you Wyndham Clark at 40 is going to go low, he's already down to 28. But I got him at 40, and the hometown guy, driver, putter, that's what this is going to be this week. Drive for show, putt for dough, take it as deep as you can. And hometown hero Wyndham, he looks absolutely fantastic on the range, and he feels really good about his game. And the fourth guy, Adam Scott, plus 5,500. You know what? He's going back to the iron set that he used over in Scotland. And don't ask me why he switched it to St. Jude, but he's back to the good set, the one that gave him runner-up at the Scottish, top 10 over there at the Open. Well, I expect a big week from him. He's one of those two guys you referenced earlier that played here back when it was the International. He did it in 2000, and believe it or not, you like a good storybook ending? This was his first ever PGA Tour event.
Wow, how about that for Adam Scott? I am with you on Hovland, Cantlay, and Wyndham this week with my card, and I will, of course, have to now add Scott in as well. The placements, the top 10s and the top 20s, including a couple of guys who had to do a lot of work last week to get here in Eric Cole and Nikki Dunlap.
I love Eric Cole for a top 10 because just like last fall when he rattled off 4 top 5s and 7 starts, when he gets going, he's had 3 top 10s in his last 6. When he gets going, this guy's number 1 in the field, birdie or better. We already established it's going to be a birdie fest this week. Him with the putter on a golf course with a little bit of elevation. He's going to hit the driver a little bit longer. Great wedge player. I love his ability to score, so I took him at a top 10. Top 20s, how about Bobby McIntyre? Perfect fit golf course for him. Again, great with the driver, super long, and can roll the rock. And then the last guy, Nikki Dunlop. How about this kid, right? Comes out of nowhere. But you know what? In birdie fests, he's only won 2 of them this year. He's won 2 birdie fests this year, Carver, right? He went, 29 under at the Amex, and then he went to the Barracuda a month ago, and then he played there, 25 under. Now, a lot of people aren't paying attention to this stuff. They're all like, Wyndham Clark with the elevation and everything. He's the only guy. He's not. The Barracuda out there in Truckee, California, it's played at 5,800 feet of elevation. Yeah, and Nick Dunlop won there a month ago. Top 20 on him.
The head-to-heads, sadly, we don't have Spieth, and hopefully Jordan gets well, gets the surgery done, and gets good for next year. But we do not have Spieth to pick on this week on head-to-heads.
I'm going to go Rye over Cameron Young. This is a putter play. I mean, Rye has just been playing absolutely fantastic. He's got a win, and over his last 5 starts, he's gaining 7 strokes on the field. Cam Young's losing 2.5 strokes per start with the putter. And then the second one, Billy Horschel over Corey Connors. Billy, 3 straight top 10s. He's the 2014 FedEx Cup champion. He's the type of guy that really elevates his game this time of year. Corey Connors, last couple, 3 of his last 4 has been outside the top 25. Take Billy.
And finally, Keith, before you go, it is the final major of the women's season, and man, what a great price on Nelly Korda this week.
Well, we're going over to St. Andrews for only the 3rd time. The ladies, their 5th and final major of the year, the AIG Women's Open. Yes, the birthplace of golf. And because Nelly, she's had a couple bad swings over the last few months, but she's still playing great. She will contend, and her number is up to plus 1,600. I mean, we were betting her all spring at plus 6. It's 10 more. But you have to absolutely love Nelly at a place that always rewards elite golfers.
That is an absolute must go to the window with Nelly this week at 16-1 over there at St. Andrews. Keith, let's stay hot, baby. Keith Stewart, read the line out in Colorado. We're back coast to coast right after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on,
He doesn't just get 2, he gets the lot.
I should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the 5th leg.
Can Paxton deliver in the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence. with time
Game,
and
jock,
delivers.
Animat.
Adam
And the winner
Paxton
of the
on
Motor Super
debut.
Series,
The boy,
season
the fanboy,
week 7,
comes to the
Adam
Super Series and
Paxton.
wins.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. 2-2, White Sox and Giants in the top of the ninth. This game has moved along. I mean, it's like an hour and a half flat. They're in their ninth inning at 2-2. So we'll see. Now, the White Sox have a man on here, Joe. So you've got the bloop. You need the blast to make it 4-2, and then you need the Giants to tie it at 4-4. That's the Joe Lisi. We're trying to connect all the dots here so that Joe can actually get this over home between the Giants and the White Sox. So,
why can't we get extras? Extras is okay.
Okay, if that's what you want, that's fine. I mean, if you want to get extras, whatever.
2-2, I'm willing to take a shot there. I mean, 3-3, 4-4, him. We can get that.
Yeah, him. Okay, that's fine. Rangers beat the Pirates 1-0. They got a Wyatt Langford walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth. That's pretty gutless, Joe. I'm not going to disagree with you there. That's pretty gutless. Back to the football for you, Joe, because I know that's what you're excited about. You're ready for all the football. And you sent me these SEC tiebreakers just now. Yeah. I need like an hour on the radio tonight just to read through all that. I mean,
that's why I sent it to you.
I mean, it's like a dictionary of all the tiebreakers for the SEC. That's because there are no more divisions, first of all, and they're obviously and they've got like 25 teams now, so they got to be able to break ties one way or the other. So tonight, Joe, on Carver and Lisi, I will read that dictionary that you sent me of SEC tiebreakers for this coming year.
Let the Miami Dolphins figure it out. Let it figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The Algos pick who should win, who should be in the game. Don't leave it up to tiebreakers. We'll go back to the NFL. Of course, there's a story the last couple of days, Joe. Tua really saying how Brian Flores treated him when he was the coach. Flores responded yesterday, I've changed, every player's different, blah, 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 blah. One thing Tua did say, though, Joe, was that Mike McDaniel, how he treated him, came in, said, you're the guy. You could do this. You're accurate. You could do all these things. Tua appreciates that. Mike McDaniel says that's how you're supposed to talk to players.
There's a lot of negative in the world and a lot of people telling you when you do stuff wrong. For me,
here we go.
I think
here we go.
To raise
you did
someone's,
this on purpose.
To really maximize someone, I think it's beneficial for someone to be showing them a vision of their greatest self.
Here we go. I can't.
Don't
get me started. I don't like this guy.
You got to pump him up. It's like you said. You rub my back a little bit.
Tommy Gunn. This is it. Tommy Gunn. This is it. Tommy Gunn 2.0. I like Flores. Flores got in his face. This is why. This is clearly why Mike McDaniel, okay, I'm not even going to talk about Tua. This is why Mike McDaniel beats up on mediocre competition. And this is why Mike McDaniel gets kicked around against better teams and teams that challenge for a Super Bowl each and every year. Teams like Kansas City, teams like Baltimore, teams like Buffalo, okay? Because they have a blue-collar mentality. Their coaches understand adversity and also understand that you need to break out every now and then. And McDaniel's a coddler, okay? It's clear he's a coddler. I can't stand him as a head coach. He's a great play caller. That's all well and good. You want to give him that? We'll give him that. But in terms of motivation, in terms of getting his teams ready to prepare for better competition and a step up in class, he's Tommy Gunn 2.0. Remember the movie? What was that? Rocky V? Tommy Gunn? Tomato cans. That's who the Dolphins beat up on. 32-0. Tommy Gunn. Dirty
They end
knockout.
at the end. They fight out in the street at the end. This is my ring is out here.
So.
Yeah,
I don't
they fight
remember.
in the
It's been a
street,
long
and
time.
They fight in the street.
And he had brain
that
damage
actually,
in that movie.
To be fair,
He had
you're not
brain
supposed to call it
damage, didn't
Rocky
he?
5. Many of us decided a long time ago that movie doesn't belong in the Rocky film chronology. So we stricken Rocky 5 from the record. It never happened, Joe. It's fiction. It's fake. It never actually took place. The bases loaded for the White Sox with one out here with Gavin Sheets up against Miller.
Can I get the Granny Smith?
The Granny Smith now would give it to you, right? 7.5.
Yeah.
This would put you over the number if you could get it. We shall see.
Get the Granny Smith? Oh boy.
Miami's number, by the way, as I gave it to you, I have the Miami schedule and their number 9.5. Joe, as you see, they open tough open there. Jacksonville, Buffalo, Seattle. They play the Jets twice in the last 5 weeks. Difficult schedule for Miami.
I count like 7 losses there. I don't know, 10-7 at best. Yeah, I'm giving them. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Listen, don't be shocked if they lose right out of the gate to Jacksonville. I know you love them week 1. I'm not so sure about that game, and we know how they play against the Bills. All right? Because they beat the Bills last year. What? What do you mean? No. They kick us around every time.
Josh Allen owns the Dolphins. He owns the Dolphins. Owns them.
The only time you got him was 2 years ago. Right,
and that was the game in Miami in September. The low-scoring game. It was like 20-17 or 2018, whatever it was.
Remember hitting in the guy's ass.
That's right. That's right, Joe. That was that game. You are correct with that one. 2 outs now and the bases loaded. Sheets didn't get the job done. Hang in there, kid. Hit the Granny Smith. Speaking of Josh Allen, a couple years ago, once upon a time, he was the highest paid quarterback, one of the top 2 highest paid quarterbacks in the league. But there's been a lot of money given out since then, Joe. Lots of names have passed him, even ones like Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, etc., etc. How does Josh feel about now being basically in the middle of the pack when it comes to quarterback pay?
Listen, everyone's going to have their day. I'm happy that everyone's getting what they're worth, right? And I think that as the game progresses and guys keep getting paid, again, the market is the market. And I've got no problem with where I'm at right now. And, I had my day a couple years ago, and I'm sure someday I'll have it again, But I think the main thing is the main thing, and that's playing football to the best of my ability, and everything else will take care of itself.
That's called, Joe, being a leader right there. That's called not letting the outside noise get in the way of what really matters. He's got his $45.5 million a year, and he's not concerned that guys that are nowhere near as good as him have passed him on the quarterback list. His focus, Joe, is making his team better and winning football games, and that's why he's a leader and hopefully one day a champion. Josh Allen, Joe, right there. Hopefully.
A champion could be this year at plus 750. He's starting to get ripe. Carver. If you're against the Bills winning it, I want to jump on that money train. If you're going to sell the Bills from making a deep run into the playoffs this year,
I would love if they won, Joe. I would love if they won. If I wasn't a Bill fan, I probably would not be backing them. No, I would not be backing them. Transition year. I've told you this already. It's a transition year.
Nah, it's not. You can never afford that. I told you. Can't take 2 steps forward to go 5 steps further back. You can't do that.
Win
That's
games?
what happens.
Why win 12 games when you can lose 9? Come on, Joe. You can do the math for us here. Why win 12 games when you can win 9?
I will say this: a lot of gurus pumping out, Baltimore and Kansas City, and I happen to like Cincinnati.
Suspects. Here's what I know, Joe. Every
nobody's
year,
talking about the Bills. I'm going to put some. Yeah, okay.
Every year, the teams that everyone in August says this is it, it's a done deal, it never ends up that way at the end. Usually doesn't end up that way at the end. Ferrall coast to coast.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot of the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. It is all happening for you out in the Bay Area, Joe, in Oracle and San Francisco. Big rally in the ninth inning by the White Sox. Before the break, I told you they had the bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-2 game. They get themselves a hit. Corey Lee with a single. 2 runs scored on that. So that got it to 4-2. Runners moved to second and third on an error. And then Sosa with a single down the left field line. 2 more runs score. 6-2, Joe, in the top of the ninth.
Unbelievable.
6-2 White Sox. How about
this
that?
This team, the White Sox, are 12-53 on the road this year. 12.
Joe, they're 30-97 altogether. I mean, they're...
You want to take a shot? You want to take a shot? What's the number on the Giants right now? Plus 930? I'm not looking. What do we get? Plus 930?
I'll tell you right now, if you are being serious with me, which it sounds like you are,
giving us 12
I will tell
to
you 15-1 down 4 runs. 15-1 plus 1,500. Take it.
A shot. I'll put it.
I mean, listen, they're playing a team that's 30-97.
Put it with the golf? Want to put it with the golf?
Put with the golf, Billy Ho. We get Billy Horschel in there.
Top 5?
I'd rather play him for a top 5 than to win. I don't think he'll win, but I would play him for a top 5. Why not? There you go, Joe. So you got all sorts of things happening there. 3 other notes, and I want to do some college with you. We'll do a lot of college football tomorrow because you're going to be with me tomorrow, but not on Friday, and I want to make sure I give you as much time as possible with all these games that are coming up on Saturday. Pete Carroll said today, Joe, in an interview that he is returning to USC. But what's he going to do there, Joe? He's going to teach. Pete Carroll returning to USC to teach. So any ideas you had of him getting back into coaching anytime soon, he's going to go hit the books or make the kids hit the books over in Southern California. Didn't say what it is. I don't know what he's teaching. But he's going to USC to teach, Joe. You going to go take that class? Can you get in Pete's class out there? in Southern California? You want to go listen to him?
He's got to be bored, right? I mean, this guy.
Going to teach a class at USC. I mean, how much fun could he be having at home? He's going to do that.
I mean, I don't want to say, like
stress for.
That's stressful. No. I mean,
well, I mean, listen. Listen. I mean, Joe. I'm sure it's not like he's not, teaching economics, over there. I mean, I'm sure it's probably some like, no credit leadership class or something that they have him doing. It's not serious, It's not.
No. No credit leadership class.
No, I mean, it's just. He's not teaching a big time course, I'm sure. For him. Jerry Jones continues to say that Cowboys have had, quote, promising talks with CeeDee Lamb on his new deal. All this is nonsense, Joe, because you and I both know that when we get to the real thing 2 weeks from now, Pain Day, as Scotty likes to say, NFL Sunday, week number 1, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and I'll even throw Ayuk in there too. They're all going to be playing. You know it. They're all going to be playing in that game, in their first games. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me?
No, I agree. I mean, I think definitely all three will be in their uniform. Now, I still think Jerry might get a deal done before then. I mean, Jerry's known to pull the trigger. He wants this team to feel accountability because they've sucked in the playoffs the last 3 years. But CeeDee's got to get his money, Carver. He's the best player on that offense.
He is the best player on that offense, and he will get his money. It's all games at this point. Most starting quarterbacks are not going to play this week, Joe. Russell Wilson said today that he is playing on Saturday. If there's a team that should be playing their quarterbacks, Joe, it's Pittsburgh, because they haven't looked good enough the first 2 games to warrant sitting for a third. So I think Mike does want to run Russell Wilson and Justin Fields out there again, probably. And that's probably good for you, Joe, since you think Fields is going to be the starter. Get Russ out there again against third stringers and see how bad he is, and then he'll really start Fields in the first game.
If he's a train wreck, and he is absolutely atrocious, and Justin Fields lights it up again, you're telling me he's going to go to the old man doing leg lifts in the Steelers locker room week 1 against Atlanta, or you're going to put in Justin Fields that started his college career in Georgia and goes back to the Dome where he can light it up? I mean, come on. Carver, this has Fields starting week number 1 easy. I said it.
You said it, huh? You said it. There it is, Joe. I don't think anything's easy when it comes to that situation. There is nothing easy whatsoever. Saturday, Joe, of course, we have the first games of the college football season. Week 0, I've said to you a lot, I'm a little upset. I thought the slate could have been a little bit better. It's been better in week 0s in the past. Not this week, that's for sure. Only, I think it's 4 or 5 games, Joe, that you're going to have. You've got, obviously, the FSU Georgia Tech game, SMU Nevada. You have that New Mexico against Montana State game. Now, tomorrow, Joe, will spend a lot of time on these. It's still 10.5 for Florida State this week at the Aviva in Dublin, 55.5 the total. We will have a lot of fun with this then, but I'm excited, Joe, and I know you are for Saturday.
I am as well, and again, I know a lot of people aren't high on Florida State, Carver, but I think they are definitely legit at plus 154 to make the playoff. I think they crack it this year, and their offense is good, led by DJU, but that defense was rock solid in terms of passing secondary. They held opposing quarterbacks to 48%. They get 2 starters back. Keep an eye out for Peyton and Marvin Jones at bookend defensive ends that could crash Haynes King. I'm laying the 10.5, Carver, but I do like the over. I think they sailed through that 55.5.
We'll come back, Joe. There is one thing I have to do with you today, and that's a clip of your boy Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri as he gets ready for a big year with the Tigers in the SEC. And we'll do a couple other things before we get out of here. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver, High, and Joe, and for Scotty. We're back on the grid right after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton, who's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot of the big flag.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back. Ferrall, coast to coast, here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. Let me ask you a question here, Joe. Did you have 8.5 as well in this White Sox game, or just 7.5?
No,
so you had
7.5.
total.
Yeah.
And 8.5.
Did you get it?
Giants have a man on third in the bottom of the ninth with 2 out. So you're going to take a hit again. You need a hit from Estrada here. But if he gets you a hit, it'll be 6-3, and you'll get the 8.5.
Come on, Estrada! Don't be like Eric Estrada.
and you're going to get even more because Ramos missed a homer, Joe, by that much. Hit it off the top of the wall, almost went out at the start of this inning, but he's now sitting there on third. And this guy, he just looks like a total hack, Joe. I mean, he's swinging and missing at everything. This Estrada, I just don't see how he's going to come through for you. Honestly, I'm trying to speak it into existence now, Joe. But at least you got the 7.5. Yes. That's for sure. All the college stuff I was going to do with you today, Joe, I can promise you now I'm going to do with you tomorrow. Like, there's just no doubt about it. In fact, for you tomorrow, because it's the last time I'm with you here on Coast to Coast before college football starts, I'm going to put the college football before the NFL tomorrow. I'm going to get the college football taking the big stage for you as the season's about to start. Oh, Estrada got it, Joe. Did he get enough? No, he flew out to center. No, he flew out to center. He hit it pretty good. Hit it to the deepest part of the park. I'll leave you, though, today with this, and that is Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz. Of course, the Tigers have coming off a really big year. Remember, they beat Ohio State, and what was that, in the Cotton Bowl, Joe? Huge finish. I think they're ranked 11th. To start this season in the preseason poll. They open their season against Murray State at home next week. And let's just say Coach doesn't want any excuses. He wants to see a full building next week.
But our challenge is we need to sell out this first game. All right, we're a top 11 program in the country coming off a Cotton Bowl win. And in my opinion, if we don't sell out the first game, then that shows me that we're not where we want to be as a fan base yet. Okay, I mean, that's just the reality of it. Don't sit on the sideline and wait. Well, it's got to be this game. No, it doesn't. Come watch this team and be excited about this team and embrace this team. And the same challenge that I have for our players is let's have a 1-0 mindset. Let's try to be a 1-0 team and be a 1-0 fan base. Don't get excited about the game in November after the bye week. Like, I don't know what that game's going to look like. I know this week next week versus Murray State's the most important game we have. And we need to sell it out because we need to show the rest of the country that we're serious about.
He's right,
Brady
Joe. Joe, he's right, to be fair, because, you get these teams, they're going to play some of these squash job games in the first week. You go to Neyland for Tennessee, whoever they play the first week, there ain't an empty seat in the place. You go to the Swamp, Joe, for the first game of the season for Florida, and I know they're playing Miami this year. It's there. It doesn't matter who they'd be playing. They could be playing Florida A&M. There's not an empty seat. LSU, Alabama, all these big SEC schools. He's right. It doesn't matter who you're playing. If you would be a big-time program, you got to fill the building all the time.
Oh, you have to. And they have talent, Carver. Brady Cook, one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. Wide receiver Luther Burden. I mean, this offense could score with anybody. So you don't want to resort back to the days of Corby Jones and Devin West. I mean, back in the mid-'90s. I mean, or Brock Olivio that used to eat rice and have 2% body fat. I mean, come on now. This is Missouri. You beat Ohio State. You smashed Devin Brown and Ryan Day into the ground. You gotta show up for Murray State. Did you like that, Brock Olivio?
Brock Olivio. That's straight out of the Encyclopedia of College Football.
Carver, he got drafted by the Lions. He was on a rice diet for much of his career in Columbia. They had to monitor him.
Nebraska names Dylan Raiola their starting quarterback, which we, again, Joe, we anticipated. And your boy Rule made it official there today in Lincoln. Hopefully they can win some more of those, actually win the one-score games and not lose them like they have the last couple of years there in Lincoln. All right, Joe, great job as always by you. I will see you tonight, Carver and Lisi Sports Grid Radio at 8 p.m. East with lots of baseball, big football show, and our final look at the golf. Great job by all the Golf Wednesday crew today. Keith Stewart, Brady Cannon, Charlie Hume. Great job by Gabe. Great job by Mafia Luke and the crew. Game Time Decisions is next. Coast to Coast. Back with you tomorrow here on the Grid. Have a good night. Listed as quarterback one on, of course, every team's got to put out these dopey unofficial depth charts before their preseason games. Wilson listed as one, but Fields is going to start the preseason opener against the Texans.
I still think they're going to start Wilson, but, if they start Fields, so be it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I know this. I think they're both talented.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League, 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver, 7 bona fide pass targets. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.